We're here today at the Brockton Public Library. This is Mark Lindy, and I'm wearing two hats today. One is the chair of the Library Board of Trustees, and the other one as a host on 1 North Main. Let's take a look at what we have inside at the Mass Memories Roadshow, which is the history of people involved in the city of Brockton, their stories, and all of the interesting facts about the City of Champions.
Did she make the shirts or did you?
We made them together. Chocolate. Gotta love it.
Hello and welcome to 1 North Main.
So we're right at the front door on the White Avenue side at the Brockton Public Library, and a good friend of mine who's a fellow trustee is Margaret Moan, and Margaret is bringing some history, I think, of the Brockton Visiting Nurse Association.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
What is your role today?
My role here is as a volunteer, and I wanted to bring information from Brockton Visiting Nursing Association because I've been on the board. I'm a nurse, and I've been on the board for many years, and I thought it would be an interesting part of Brockton history. It started in 1903, I believe, and has been a thriving agency in Brockton for many years.
Thank you. And I'm also here with Phyllis Ellis, who is the president of the NAACP, and she is going to talk about your history and the NAACP, I would assume?
Yes, you assumed correctly, Mark. I'm here as a volunteer, as a greeter, to greet the people as they come in, but also I'm participating in bringing my photos from my history in Brockton and also the history of the Brockton area branch NAACP. In particular, I'm bringing pictures on the 60th anniversary that we had 5 years ago. We have pictures of the late Senator Tom Kennedy, Liz Walker, Mark Lindy, and a bunch of other folks. Mrs. Cohen, the widower of Bernard Cohen, who was actually the first president of the Brockton area branch NAACP. So I'm looking forward to this event.
And we're getting ready for the 65th anniversary of the chapter coming up. You want to give us the save the date?
Save the date for the 65th Brockton Area Branch NAACP 65th anniversary, which is going to be held on Saturday, November 16th at Lantano's, starting at 7 o'clock. Save the date.
This is my good friend Joe Polycop, who is on the Library Board of Trustees with me, and he's helping here at the information desk, and he's a library trustee with me. So Joe, what do you think about this whole event that we're doing here today?
I think this is the greatest event that I have ever seen, and seeing those people, how devoted they are to do this project, and so many people are interested in it, and I think this is historical.
Now, you're going to tell your story as well today and submit some stuff about maybe the church or yourself?
Definitely, I would like to maybe tell my story about the church and how I moved to Brockton, and the thing that I've been doing here in the library as well.
I have not completed any of the forms yet, so this is the first step. Okay.
We ask you to fill it out and be sure to sign the bottom.
Yep.
Sorry.
So 12.
Number 12, thank you. That's perfect.
Okay, connection to Brockton, lifelong resident, and I guess I'm going to put community activist. How's that?
Perfect.
Is that okay?
Sure.
So, fill this out?
Oh, we're going to do you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're going to go through the whole process.
Do it.
So, give the photo a title, right? And I have a pen. So, I'm here with Philip Hasoris, and I know Phil for a long time, but I know him mostly through the poetry here at the library, and you're a volunteer today.
I am. I'm very excited to bring the history of Brockton in the forefront, to the forefront.
Are you going to go through the process yourself?
I've been through the process.
You've been through the process.
Yes.
There you go, because you were a test subject. So I just got a nice photograph that Jerry Cassidy gave me, so I figure I'll use that. And I have so many, but this is a photo of myself with State Representative Jerry Cassidy. I was just at the State House for the Mass Association of School Committees. I'm on the Southeastern School Committee, so he had the official photographer take a photo. So I figured, why not? He just handed it to me. Let's do that. So I'm here with Bill Hogan, who is the proprietor, I guess, of the Downtown Brockton. I guess it's a traveling museum right now.
It's a traveling museum now, so I'll just call myself the president of the Downtown Brockton Museum. We happen to be at the library today. But I am involved with the Mailing Museum on Crescent Street. I'm the curator. I don't own it. It's at 672 Main. So I always wanted my museum to be an interactive museum with several locations. I have quite a collection of Brockton history, and it would be nice if it was displayed at the library, maybe City Hall. You know, I don't have to hoard these things and have a location. I want people in Brockton to see the history of Brockton. So
well, we can help you do it at the library. I'm on the board. I have a little say.
Sure.
Bill, I know that you love the history of Brockton. Tell me why.
You know, I don't really know. There's nothing. It's not like I woke up one day and said, I'm going to be a historian. I did grow up next to the George E. Keith shoe factory complex. So I remember as a kid playing in the old rail yards, being, splashing around in things that I probably shouldn't have been in, chemical waste and things like that. Maybe that's why I'm only 5'5" now, I don't know. But so maybe I had a kind of an appreciation of the Walkover Club, Campello in itself with the Keith family, the Kingman family. I was always into sports, so Marvin Hagler was winning championships when I was just graduating from high school. I was somewhat of an athlete. Yeah, I was a pretty good swimmer. We never lost in swimming. The football team never lost. So just the tradition of even the people themselves, Simon Colombo, Rocky Marciano, Marvin Hagler, Tony Petronelli, Peter Colombo, Ken McAfee, later Sanford McMurtry, Greg McMurtry. I just had an appreciation for people that worked hard in Brockton. We've had a lot thrown at us over the years in Brockton, but we keep fighting and functioning. And I appreciate more what other people do, and I just want people to understand how great Brockton always has been, even in bad times. We seem to come through, and even today, a great turnout. Yep. And this isn't the greatest day to have this event with graduations, and there's all kinds of stuff going on in Brockton today. So to get a couple hundred people here is a tribute to them.
Well, I heard a rumor from Paul that we might do this once a month, so maybe we're going to do. I think if it rains, they don't come out. If it's sunny, they don't come out. But if you love Brockton, you definitely come out. Yep. So thanks for doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Mike.
We're here at the Mass Memories Roadshow with Tim Trask, who has been a friend and a colleague for years over at Massasoit Community College. Tim, what's your role here today?
I'm just assisting the video station here.
So part of the whole Mass Memories is people are scanning photos, but they can do a live to record. I can't get live to tape out of my head, about their experiences with Brockton.
Yeah, live to what Chip, I guess.
Live to Chip, yeah.
That's right. They can come over and spend a few minutes telling what they're doing, why they're here, their memories, and whatever.
Are you doing the Tim Trask story by any chance?
I don't think so, no.
No? But your wife is, major in terms of documenting, so to speak, the city history. She's at everything. I ended up in one of the history books because she took a picture of me and my wife. But you and I both remember the legendary Stan Bowman, who took history and pictures of the city champions for I can't even tell you how many years.
From the 30s on, I think.
But I know you helped Janet to get all those photos out. They're really good photos.
Yeah, and she does that. Really.
She does that?
Yeah, I just upload them to...
Yeah, but that's a big thing. It's good. You see, now, I mean, you and I had to deal with things in the old analog days, and now it's all digital, and everything is... It's easier, but it's harder?
That's true. It's both. Although it's a lot cheaper, too.
It is.
Especially than the photographs.
Well, thanks for doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
I put State House. Should I put Brockton or should I put Boston?
It was taken in Boston, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna
Mass, USA.
county.
Oh, county. So that's Suffolk County. Okay. Year is 2019. Month is May. Date I'd have to look up. So I'm going to put Jerry Cassidy, state rep. Southeastern Regional School Committee. And description.
Why is this important to you?
Okay. As a school committee member, I went to Beacon Hill to advocate for public education. Simple.
All right. And now I take it.
Okay.
Make sure. So let's see. You're number.
I'm number 12.
12.
Yep.
And that's photo number 1. Very good. Boston, Mass.
I'm trying to find that date for you, Phil.
Okay.
Because I have it in my calendar, and I'll just find it real quick, and then we'll let Margie get back and proceed. I didn't realize I was taking a spot. It would have been April, end of the month, 30th.
You've got May down.
I think it's May 1st. It was. I think I'm just looking to make
check,
sure.
yep.
May 1st. May 1st. It is May 1st.
Okay. We're good.
We're good.
We'll send you on your way.
Thank you. And
Scanning
take the picture
station.
and
I'll scan it, yep.
Thank you, Philip.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay. I'm here with Pat Monteith, who was instrumental in getting this whole event for Mass Memories Roadshow today. Pat, how's it turning out so far?
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. Every single station has been packed since we opened at 10 o'clock.
So what was in your mind, what was the whole goal and the whole purpose of having this come here?
To try to document the history of Brockton in this brand new digital archives that's being created by UMass Boston. They're going to eventually do the entire Commonwealth of Massachusetts. But I want to make sure Brockton was represented in case they lose their funding. So I insisted several in the fall that we go after a grant to get them here.
And we got the grant, like a lot of other grants that you've been involved in. So have you told your history yet? Have you gone in there and gone through the stations? I did.
Oh, I absolutely did. Matter of fact, I prepared all the paperwork last night and walked in this morning, and I was one of the first people to turn in all my paperwork.
Cool. So I got a picture that Jerry Cassidy handed me that was taken May 1st, so it was hot off the presses. It wasn't on my phone digital or anything, and then I did a video, 3 takes on the video. So we got that. I'm used to that at cable. So, and I even heard Paul talking to me kind of behind the scenes, maybe we'll do something like this once a month at the library.
I think this is going to be a catalyst for the library to be able to document in the library's archives something like this once a month. And I think he's even identified one of the staff to manage that project.
There we go. So thanks for doing what you do, Pat.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Happy to do it.
Preservation Station, tell us about it, and you're an archivist, correct?
Right. I'm a preservation specialist.
Okay.
And so I help archivists, librarians, people in charge of special collections preserve their historical materials. And today, through the Mass Memories Roadshow, I get to help people from the, members of the public preserve their historical materials, their family keepsakes.
Yeah.
And so when people come here, usually they're thinking of bringing a few items, right, to get digitized.
Right.
And then I'm here to teach them a bit about how, when they take it home, how could they get it into a little bit of a better condition, improve their preservation outlook just by a little bit when they go home. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to, I'm on the board for the Brockton Historical Society. I'm the vice president, and I don't know if you know Nicole Casper,
Oh, no.
she's the archivist at Stonehill College.
Oh.
So a lot of Brockton history is preserved over there because they have a perfectly climate control temperature thing. We have a lot of our shoes from the shoe museum over there, and she's in charge of the Stanley Bowman collection. Stanley Bowman was a long-term photographer here in Brockton.
I'm always happy to talk about the type of guidance that I give people that come here, and the way we think about helping someone who may be an archivist as opposed to somebody who's just taking care of their family treasures. I mean, people can spend, 9 to 5, 5 days a week, all the time thinking about preservation, committing their careers to it. But when we're working with people who are just coming here to experience a nice day, talk about their family history, we got to think about strategies that are really accessible to them and just move them, move the needle of preservation a little bit. So little things like, if they've got something in the basement or the attic, well, that's not necessarily the right environment. Just by moving it to their first floor of their house, little improvements like that. That's going to make sure that that thing lasts a little longer. Picking the right types of enclosures, making sure things are acid-free, lignin-free, and buffered. That's our 3 things that we go for in a paper product enclosure. Just pointing them in the right direction for little steps that are manageable. We can really help to make sure that this family history is kept for longer.
And then things like media, videotapes, audio tapes.
Right.
We have close to 20,000 videotapes at our Access Center, and we're working on a grant here with the library in the city to preserve them here at the library.
Oh, great.
Because it's the history of Brockton. It's the Brockton High graduations, high school sports championships. But most people at home, they have a VHS tape. Pretty soon, you're not going to have machines that can play them.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so would a place like your center have those types of facilities if people needed to access them, or how do people do that? Like if you have a VHS tape and you haven't converted it to DVD, how do you preserve it?
Right. So thinking about VHS tapes and other types of audiovisual media, any DCC, the place I work, we focus on audio tapes.
Okay.
We also do groove media, but when it comes to videotapes, that type of material, we point that into the direction of other folks that do or have those facilities, that equipment to do that type of transfer.
Sure.
When it comes to those types of materials, I think exactly what you're saying about how, that VCR, there aren't a lot out there anymore, and the quality of the VCR, it degrades over time too.
Sure does.
The playback equipment ages.
Yeah.
And also, how many people have heard of VHS tape getting eaten by their VCR?
Absolutely.
So we got to transfer it over to a safer format. DVDs are really nice for access, but we are moving in the direction of thinking that having a digital file that can be easily transferred to new formats as formats come out, that is our go-to transfer, and that's really the only way that we can guarantee long-term access and preservation for the content on those really interesting formats like VHS tapes.
Okay, if someone wanted to know more and they're not here today, how could they find out about your organization?
So I would encourage people to go to NEDCC's website, and just Googling NEDCC would get you right there.
Okay.
We've got a ton of preservation leaflets that are totally free. As a nonprofit, we're really committed to sharing free information about preservation, and we have information that I think would be really good for an introductory level, but also for more advanced topics. So I would encourage you to check out our website.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, scanning station. Where do I go? Next is the scanning station over here. Hello. I'm following my journey on recording this. I'm here with Jonathan Stroud, who is an employee at the Brockton Public Library, and let me show you what I have. I just got it. It's kind of hot off the presses.
So this is going to go to you.
Right. Okay, and that's the photo, and the photo is Jessica has the photo. Jessica's from UMass Boston, and I just went to the State House in my role as a school committee member for Southeastern Voc Tech, and it was Day on the Hill. We go to talk to the reps and the senators about funding public education properly. So in my role as a school committee member, I went there, and Jerry had the official photographer take the photo, and I figured, why not put it in? He just handed it to me. Okay. Sure, take it out. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's a nice photo. I have the cell phone version, but that's much nicer. So we're waiting for the photo to scan, and then they'll have it in the collection, and then maybe go over to the video station.
And then all of a sudden, except for the bulkiness of it, it was kind of cool. Because somebody put an awful lot of stuff on it.
I know. We're so used to instantaneous in the digital age, right? So while it's scanning, Jonathan, what's your role here today? What are you doing here?
So what I'm doing over here is just reading over to make sure everything's eligible. So that way,
so don't worry about it.
so that way we can put it in the system.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just checked it over, make sure everything's initialed, and it went through the information station and then over here to the scanning station. So that's all that I do today.
Cool. I could give you 100 photos, but yeah, my number tag is 12. Jessica, can I talk to you for one quick minute? Okay, I'm going to move over here. Have Mike Will travel. So, Jessica, you work at UMass Boston.
I do.
A fun job? You like doing this?
I love it, yes.
Okay. And how many of these road shows have you gone on?
At least 20.
Wow.
Between 20 and 25.
So isn't I mean, I was looking at, I think there were citizenship papers up there and different documents.
Yes.
You must find amazing, outstanding things.
Oh my gosh, people bring such a variety of materials to these road shows. I mean, people bring photographs, but also historic newspapers and, different kinds of documents and even objects. Sometimes people will bring like metal signs or, anything that is meaningful to them or, historic about their town. So it's really interesting seeing what people bring in.
So when we're all done here, what happens to all of this stuff? It goes to the digital collection at UMass Boston?
It does, and it usually takes a few months for us to process everything, but then everything becomes part of the larger Mass Memories Roadshow collection with photos and stories from all over the state. And we have these bookmarks here with the URL.
Okay. I'm going to put that right up on the screen.
Fabulous.
So it's Open Archives. Oops, I'm getting the projector in it, so I'm making it feel crazy. openarchives.umb.edu, right at UMass Boston, which is a wonderful public institution. Part of going up to Beacon Hill is K through 12 and higher ed. I teach at Massasoit too. So.
Fabulous.
Yeah, there you go. So thank you for doing what you do.
Oh, well, thank you.
Appreciate it. I'm here with Carolyn Goldstein from UMass Boston, correct? And you're in charge of this whole event. Tell us about Mass Memories Roadshow, and I guess we're number 77? Or 78, correct?
Right, we're technically number 78, but this is about maybe the 40th event we've done, approximately, over the last 15 years. We are a digital history project based at UMass Boston. We've been around since 2004, and we travel from community to community in Massachusetts and partner with local groups to run day-long events where people can bring photos and stories, and we add them to a digital collection. That can be found at openarchives.umb.edu. I can give you a photograph, a little bookmark to help you remember. And the images we collect today from the Brockton Mass Memories Roadshow will be available there in a few months.
Okay, so this takes, I heard in your introduction earlier, there are roadies that come around and help you. It's a local community group, and I'm proud being involved with the library that our library stepped up to the plate. So how did this all come together in Brockton?
Right, yeah, so we have an application process, and Paul Engel and Pat Monteith from the library here submitted an application to us last summer, basically saying, we have a rich history, we know our community, we can do the outreach, and made a convincing case about all of that. And we selected them among a group of applicants to partner with us this year. Eventually, we want to work with all communities in Massachusetts, so it's a matter of time when we get to each community. We are thrilled to get an application from Brockton because it's not far from Boston, but yet it's sort of different than what we're used to. We've been to a lot of suburban communities on the North Shore and the South Shore and in the Metro West area. We've also visited a lot of Boston neighborhoods. We love coming to cities like Brockton that have a deep industrial history and also a very diverse population of people really from all around the world who have unique stories to tell and whose stories are really a part of understanding the history of any city in Massachusetts or in the United States for that matter.
So when this is all done here, what's the process from this point on?
Right, so after today, we'll take all the photographs that we scan and all the stories that people share, and we'll key it all in and add it to our online collection. As I said, it takes a few months. But today, what's really interesting is we've got people coming in the door with unique materials about their Brockton story, their personal stories, their family photographs, and they have an opportunity to sit with us and describe those photographs and share their own personal stories about the materials that we're scanning.
I'm going to do that later, but for a while we're going to follow people around and go around to the different stations. Thank you folks for selecting Brockton. I'm a proud Brocktonian.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure to partner with this whole community. It's a great group of people. They've really pulled out the stops to get the word out, and we're really excited to see who's going to show up today and what they're going to bring.
Thank you. I am here with State Representative Jerry Cassie. Hey, Jerry, how are you?
Mark, always good to see you. Always good to see you in this beautiful day and beautiful building.
In the Thomas P. Kennedy main branch of the Brockton Public Library. You're my good friend.
Yes, absolutely. And I've got a bunch of things for Tom Kennedy. Some pictures that he's when he used to be an ombudsman back in. Geez, what was it, 77, I think it was?
That's when I met him.
Yeah. So I got a couple pictures from that, and then, all the way his career up to when he passed away. And John Waldron also.
Oh, nice. I was talking to Margie Moan out front, and she has a picture, and I told her to talk to you. It might have been Tom Kennedy's house before it had the third floor. I said, the only one that's going to know is Jerry, so take a look. But
it used to be called the Monkey Ghost, used to be up there. That was what Lenny DePasco used to say.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
And I was fortunate enough to live in the back building a few years back. But what's so important about preserving the history of Brockton?
And this is run by the state UMass, and it's great that we in the legislature can fund this type of program to make sure that everybody in Brockton knows about our past, because without the past we're nowhere.
Okay. And so you're going to bring us, you said, information. You want to give us a sneak preview, because you got a lot there. I don't know if it'll.
I got a bunch of pictures here. Tommy was one of my heroes. I started working with him back in 1987. And it's been just a great, and he's just meant so much to this building alone. He was very helpful in adding this addition onto the library, the courthouse, the senior center, so many things I could talk about Tom over the years. But not only that, but John Waldron too. I've got a bunch of things. He was the epitome of a great guy.
Absolutely, no question.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go do the business, and we'll catch up with you later. We just had a fantastic day inside the Brockton Public Library with the Mass Memories Roadshow. This is Mark Lindy for One North Main, and we hope that you'll learn more about the great history of the City of Champions, certainly by watching our One North Main show, Brockton Community Access, channels 9, 12, and 98. You can find us on the Brockton Channels, all one word, on YouTube, or you can look up our website at bcatv.org. For everybody at One North Main, I'm Mark Lindy.